Mic check. Hello and welcome to Edukemy's YouTube channel. My name is Harsh and in this video we shall discuss the feature news for 23rd March 2022. Today's feature news is on a very interesting topic. It is on tourism policy which has been drafted by the government right now. So in this feature news we will understand what has been the tourism policy for our country, what have been the chief areas of focus. There are 5 areas of focus in which 2 important areas, one of them is green tourism and the other one is digital tourism. They have been highlighted by the government. Along with that, we will understand what is the concept of tourism, what are the various ways in which tourism can be looked at, what are the opportunities, challenges for our country. Right. So let's begin this discussion by welcoming all of you here. Amlan, Netra, Kriti, Ashish, Hima, Tyasha and all the other people who are watching right now or are offline. So let's begin this. Now, in case of tourism, some basic indicators of data. We have discussed this data. I would like to show this to you once. This is tourism and COVID impact. We had discussed this feature news in the month of June last year, and this is how it comes back to us, right? If we have studied well, it comes back. If you have not studied, then we would have to get to that article time and again if you have not studied. So the article rightly says that India has around 9 to 10% of GDP, India's GDP or world GDP attached to tourism directly or indirectly. Not only that, India employs 8% of people directly in tourism sector. So this is what you should note from this particular feature. This is where tourism will always help you to understand what it is about. 8% of India's employment and around 9% of India's economy and 10% of world GDP is around tourism sector. This is the significance of tourism industry, right? And because of COVID, all this had faced a lot of impact. Around 10, when we speak of 8% of employment, this comes to around 4 crore employment, and 1 crore employment were directly impacted because of COVID, right? I had gone to several places, the guides, the places where there is tourism sector running, we see people coming for selling articles, everything, nothing existed during those times in the last 2 years. It is only regenerating right now, and international tourism has also faced a lot of issues. Domestic tourism has started, but international tourism, again, because of multiple shocks of COVID happening at different places at different times, this was restricted. So this is the impact of creating notes. If you've created notes on COVID impact on tourism or the overall perspective on tourism, economy, how economy, society, environment, culture, heritage, they get affected because of tourism, you can further write the tourism policy just below this particular discussion itself, right? This is how it impacts economy, society, culture, society and environment, all of it. This is what was the last feature news in month of June. Now we have come up with another feature news that is on draft tourism policy. So this document is around 80 pages. I have had a very good look at the document and I am presenting some parts of the same which are most relevant to you. See, tourism, what we look at usually is from the perspective of visiting nature, visiting monuments, going to natural heritage sites, right? UNESCO World Heritage Sites of 2 kinds, right? One is the physical and the second one is the natural heritage, and the second one is the heritage that is created by humans, right? Around 40 of them exist in India, and this is what we relate to tourism. However, this is not enough because there are various other ways that can be included in tourism. What about medical tourism? What about tourism that is related to adventure, sports tourism, MICE, exhibitions, holding exhibitions in India, right? Tourism that is related to culinary, that is related to eating. What about tourism which is related to shopping? So people go to Dubai to shop articles. People go to another city. People go to Agra. If you from Agra, you would understand there is a street in which street food is sold throughout the whole night, right? So tourism related to food. There are places, destinations which have been given this culinary tag by Indian government itself. Not only that, there are tourism linked to various other ways. Amlan says, yes, you're all here. Welcome, Amlan. Okay. Oh, he's unable to see. There could be a problem somehow, but maybe refreshing it would help you. So tourism can be viewed from many perspectives. Some other examples of how tourism could be viewed are what I have put here. Please shift. Okay, let me open this page again. Have a look. So one important way of tourism is MICE tourism. I was speaking about it. Meeting, incentives, conference and exhibition, MICE. Medical tourism in India, right? Cultural tourism. What we understand through tourism is beach tourism or going to landscapes which are amidst nature. But then cultural tourism is another important way to represent India, right? For example, if people understand what is the unique tribal culture of Meghalaya, what is the tribal culture or what is the culture that resides in Jammu and Kashmir. So this is what talks of cultural tourism, right? It also relates very much to other tourism aspect, for example, religious tourism, right? Religious circuits. You people mentioned about some of these circuits, Buddhist circuit, Jaina circuits in India. What about wellness tourism? Yoga being practiced in India and people coming to India to learn yoga. Not only that, people coming to India for healing and wellness, going to Kerala, especially Kerala, wellness tourism. People go to destinations for business activities, business tourism, that also happens. Education hub, education tourism, people migrate to another place for the student exchange programs for a month or two, and this is how education tourism also happens. Cuisine tourism, adventure, backpacking tourism, shopping destinations. See, these are multiple ways in which tourism can happen. And what we see usually is tourism in only limited ways. And if you look at what you people have responded, I like the answers that you have put. For example, you people have written about Swadesh Darshan circuit tourism, all right. You people have mentioned about Suraj Kund, good enough. Construct Dubai like museum, Kashmir carpets, Meghalaya, wildlife and nature parks, UNESCO heritage sites, tourism conferences, good one, right? Multiplier effect, good one. Nature and oceans. But what about other ways in which tourism can be progressed in India? This is where I quickly pointed out you must diversify your points. So look at how people come to India, no, or why we go out to another country. Why do we go? Start thinking on those lines and you will automatically look at the economic aspects of it. People come to India to learn India's way of agriculture. We migrate to other places to understand their scientific progress and development. So tourism that is linked to education, tourism that is linked to health development. Health can be traditional health can be alternate system of medications, health can also be the medical tourism, the conventional medical tourism that happens. Tourism can be because of adventure activities, right? People go to beach areas, people participate in, see, one simple example of this is Gulmarg itself. It can become a hub for extreme winter sport activities, which it is nature has gifted it, but it does not become. It must become, right? People from around Europe and around the whole of Americas, they come to Gulmarg because the kind of altitude, the kind of slope that they see here is not available anywhere in the world, right? The altitude that is here in Gulmarg is not even present in many areas of the world. So these are the ways in which tourism can actually proceed in India. Medical, convention, MICE tourism, village, sports, religious, wellness, business, education, cuisine, adventure, shopping, right? This is how it can contribute to humongous amounts in terms of India's economy and trade, right? Hi Pooja, welcome Kim. Hi Suchishmita, welcome. चलो चल गया ना, कहीं ना कहीं चल गया आपका. It's good that you people are a part of it. I'm happy you people are here. So it says spending, what is tourism? Spending time away from daily routine or home, this is one. Pursue recreation, relaxation, pleasure, conventional definition, or commercial provisions and of services. 10% of GDP of the world and 8% of employment. This is what it can provide, and it can provide even more provided we link these activities with what? With more of marketing and publicity. provided we provide tourism as a safe destination. Safety, thank you for mentioning this point. Provided we make it digital and easily available for people. Right? What is digital tourism then? Digital tourism is a common word which is now being used. Suppose an American gentleman wants to travel to India and they do not know the destinations they have to travel because it is not available online. So making all the destinations online, making the tickets available online, for example, Taj Mahal's tickets now available online. Not only that, they should be able to book places for residents online, cabs online, everything should be made digital. The modes of payment also should be made available online through UPI and other ways of payment. So this is what is called as digital tourism. India is forcing its way into digital tourism so that the physical tourism is given impotence with the help of digital tourism. People look up a place on internet before they physically move to that particular place. When I went to Meghalaya to visit the Umngot river, I saw that on internet first. I don't know, I think it was Facebook or somewhere I saw that, and that's where I looked up and then went to that place. But being an Indian, I never cared for where I should lodge. I actually lodged aside the river. I camped there at night and we were eating the cooked food, the barbecued food right there. But then only because I was an Indian. But what about the American and European and the African people coming to India? They would not know. They need the assistance of digital tourism. Also, an impetus on green tourism. Anything that is associated with tourism converted into green. When it is such a substantial part of economy, it must become more sustainable. So village tourism, sustainable. Wellness tourism, sustainable. Right? Cuisine tourism, sustainable. Right, make all of them related to green or maybe something that is more eco-sensitive or ecologically productive. Right, so this is what India has focused on. What does it give, or what are the chief areas of focus? These are the chief areas of focus that I found. 5 areas: green tourism, digital tourism that I have explained right now, destination management, important, skilling the hospitality sector, and MSMEs related to tourism. Right. So these are the 5 areas of focus for the tourism policy. Green tourism, you've understood. Digital tourism, we have explained. The third is destination management. The time I had gone to Ladakh, the management of destinations was so beautifully done. Although it was not digital, it was merely going to places and finding out places. But then the destination management was done very, very well. Well planned in Ladakh, and people had done it informally at informal levels, MSME levels. And what people had done was they were competing with the hospitality sector, the conventional hospitality sector, that is the hotels, and they would form the homestays. Homestays in Nubra Valley, homestays in Ladakh. I never had to stay in a hotel there. So this is what is called as destination management. And not only management of the destination where they are with people going to stay, but or they were going to have a night stay, but also their ratings, right? Quality assessment. This has been a part of, I'm not speaking out of my own will, this is a part of the policy that destination management must go through quality check, must go through some level of quality assessment, right? So this is what is called as destination management. Destination management means tourist destination is defined as a physical space having planning or administrative boundaries in which a visitor can spend an overnight. So staying overnight, this is destination management. It also provides cluster of products and services giving hot water, food, right, activities and experiences along tourism value chain and basic unit of analysis of tourism. So tourism will be analyzed through the destination management organizations. These organizations will be rating agencies, they will be quality assessment agencies which will be helping in management of tourism in those areas. See, have a look, destination management, skilling the hospitality sector, not only the formal industry setup, hospitality sector, that means the hotels, but also informal sector, MSMEs, right, Hunar Se Haat, right, training the locals or aiding tourism. When I had gone to Andaman Nicobar, I brought back one coconut, and the coconut was in shape of a monkey, right? It had hair, very cute one. It had 2 eyes, and it was all carved, and some parts were even embedded. And when I went to Srinagar, not Ladakh, when I went to Srinagar, I brought back certain other entities, right? Similarly, when I went to Meghalaya, I brought something else from there, right? When I went to Guwahati, I brought back a couple of saris, right? So you can see all these places have got something to offer, GI tags. If the tourism is promoted, people always want to take back something from that local places, not only as a sign of what that place stood for, but also something of utility. So you can see tourism related MSMEs are not only about welcoming the people, welcoming the outsiders, but it's also about selling the products, what is of USP, unique selling product of that particular place. See, these are the 5 areas of focus for the draft tourism policy. That's what I want to indicate. Along with that, government also focuses more on visa norms, hygiene, environment for stay. This is related to destination management, connectivity, physical connectivity. One of you had mentioned the point of physical connectivity through Sagar Mala, through Bharat Mala, through infrastructure projects. See, there are 2 kinds of connectivity: digital connectivity and physical connectivity. Digital connectivity happening through digital tourism, and physical connectivity happening through road, airways, waterways, right, railways, and this requires investment in India. What example could you use? Simple example of UAE. UAE wanting to invest in hospitality sector, food processing sector in Kashmir. Simple as that. Right? Promotion of the same and quality standards. So it must be promoted. Digital tourism is a part of the same. Promotion of all of it, right? So these are the areas of focus. Visa norms. Government has eased the visa norms. It has initiated the e-visa again after 2 years of COVID impact. So 150 plus countries have been given e-visas. All you have to do is apply for the visa online, and which goes through an automatic security check. And after 3 days, you can visit the country, India, right? You don't have to get into the traditional visa process and going for an interview. Just take the visa, and 150 countries, citizens, they can come straight to India after 3 days. So these are easing of the whole process, right? Not only that, what about tourist police? There are additional points that I had put here. Yes. What about tourist police? What about special tourist zones, special tourism zones? For example, if you visit Patna by airport, a place called as Rajgir, which was erstwhile capital of India as well, it is very close to a place called as Bodh Gaya and Gaya. These are all spiritual centers for the country, and also in the tourist map of the whole world. Bodh Gaya, the place where Buddha attained his salvation, right? Rajgir, the capital of the country at one time. So this is a tourism circuit, and this is what a special tourism zone could imply. Special tourism zone. Similarly, when you visit Aurangabad in Maharashtra, Aurangabad is connected to Ajanta and Ellora, a tourism circuit in itself. When you go to another destination, Chennai is linked to Pondicherry, which is linked to Tanjavur, which is linked to Madurai, and if you have time, you can further go to Kanyakumari, or you could go to Rameshwaram Islands, and from Rameshwaram you can also come back to Trivandrum and then come back to Chennai. See, a tourism circuit. So special tourism zones could be established where people specialize in particular services, products, giving aid to people who come here, right? This is happening the world around. India should also pioneer in this. When it is happening in a place like Dubai, can't India participate? India has got a better economy, right? It has got a better ecosystem for management, more sustainable in nature. All we need to do is proceed and progress all this, right? When we call world as our own home, Vasudhaiva Kutum, when we call tourist as our God, right? Atiti Devo Bhava, you should start using these words in your answers, and you should also start looking at how and what are the innovative ways of doing tourism. You people have yourself gone to various places, and you should see how the MSME owners, they lure us to purchase a product, right? So, this is what must be looked into. Along with that, contingency management is important. Wherever a disaster occurs, tourists should be given priority for evacuation. Their contingency, their management, their evacuation, people should be able to help the tourist out before anybody else, right? So these are the priority areas of the tourism policy as well, right? What else? It leads to what? It leads to economic growth for the country. Absolutely, absolutely, very much. 10% economy, we can start looking at even more, even more. Dubai has started to create its economy around tourism. Imagine that, right? Economic growth, right? So start decreasing. Dubai has decreased the taxation levels, right, around the country. So people go there for shopping only shopping. Similarly, it creates a lot of employment for people. It also showcases the soft power of the nation. Soft power. See, emerging soft power is different from cultural might. For example, soft power is developing a corner in the heart. For example, if Afghani people have a corner in the heart for us because they view Bollywood movies, this is India's soft power in them. But showing cultural might is something that not everybody can do. India has got that cultural might, but is that cultural might available in USA? I doubt it. USA's civilization is hardly 400 years old. Yeah, and people migrated to USA, right? Before that, not a lot of things are available. And Incas and Maya civilization, they're very far too old. But India has got layers and layers of civilization. BC, AD, and in AD, 5 AD is a different one, 10 AD is a different one, 500, 1000 and 1500 AD is a different one. And after that, there's a huge level of differentiation from 1500 AD to 2000 AD. So this is what is called as cultural might. India has that potency to show this cultural might of the country. India, through tourism, will be able to showcase its unity in diversity. It will be able to amalgamate and integrate India's culture into one, right? People will develop an empathetic perspective about the Indians at different places, right? So we develop attributes through visiting places, no? Tourism. So this is what tourism is about. This is what it can give to all of us, right? This is what you can represent: economy, society, environment, personal growth. That's it. A part of the tourism policy, the goal is to make India one of the top 5 destinations in the world in terms of both international arrivals and international tourism receipts by 2030. So international tourism receipts, finances, and international arrivals, making India in the top 5. That has been the goal for the next 10 years, right? This is one of the goals. The strategic areas of the policy, what are they? Increasing visitation, stay, and spend. You visit India, we increase that time period. You stay in India for a longer period, and you also spend more in India. Do you remember there was a tourism from Russia's end during COVID times? So first, second wave of COVID, and after that they started saying that if you want Sputnik vaccine, you come to Russia for 2 days, 3 days, visit the Kremlin and nearby areas, you will also be injected, come back to your home after 3 days of stay. Same thing happened with Dubai, COVID tourism, right? If you have noted this, this is a very innovative way of spending money, right? And securing people's needs, right? It also increases the supply of skilled workforce. This has been the objective. One objective is more paisa kharcha karo. Second, supply of skilled workforce. The third one is attract investment, international or domestic investment. The fourth is preserve and showcase the natural and cultural history of the country. And the fifth one is sustainable, responsible, inclusive development, which comes to green development. These are the key objectives of the policy. And these policy objectives are not only for this tourism. It's translated to any other place, right? Creation of skilled workforce, who doesn't want it? Attracting investment, who doesn't want it? Inclusive development for the country, we need it. Preserving and enhancing the heritage at all places. So spending economy, this is spending. What I'm saying is that you can translate these objectives, which I have taken a screenshot of, at multiple places. All you got to do is think about it in a holistic manner. When I'm speaking of economy or more spendings, this is part of economy, all right. When I'm speaking of sustainability, it is a part of ecology, environment, and nature. When I'm speaking of job and growth, it is about employment of people. So that's what is every part of economy constituent of, right? So have a look. This has been created by people. You do not have to even mug it up. All you got to do is open your brain, and then you see how you can create these policies. So what are we speaking of? We are speaking of digital modes of payment, right? Even before the person arrives, we are speaking of something like homestays. I would always prefer to stay in a home-like condition and be subjected to the local environment as compared to being given a differential treatment at a local place. Differential means like, considering the person above par, a lot more, I would like to be considered as a local, right? While Romans behave like the Romans do, right? See, when I was traveling by air, I saw on my WhatsApp only, I got these cab rates. This is what is required for a tourist. 7 kilometer you travel and you can book your cab in the air itself. 7 kilometer, 230 rupees. 20 kilometer, 424. Instead of going to a local area, I had booked these cabs from the air itself. So this is what is called as digital tourism, facilitating tourism for people, right? Creating a tourist circuit, many tourist circuits. There's a very important international tourist circuit for in India. People, they come directly to Delhi, and from Delhi they visit Agra, that is Taj Mahal. They go to Varanasi, and after that they go to Jaipur, and then they come back to Delhi. People, the tourist map, this primary map, this has been created, and this whole tourism happens within 5 days, going to Agra, Varanasi, Jaipur, and back to Delhi. And one of the major attractions in India, natural heritage, is the presence of tigers. So people primarily go to Ranthambore. I'm talking of international tourist travelers, right? We also have heritage trains which take people on tours, and they're very costly. Although they are costly, but they provide, the royal treatment to people. Point I'm making here is, when we have this availability, we can utilize it for creating jobs, sustainability, employment, right? Skills, economy of India, making India the top 5 economies in the world as far as the receipts are concerned and the people coming to India are concerned. See, so what are the areas of innovation? Areas of innovation. Have a look. Dubai and Russia, Moscow, this is the Kremlin. They are all envisaging ways in which they have innovative tourism ways for the country, right? So areas of innovation. Some areas of innovation could be looked at. Personalization of travel and hospitality experience. Who would not like personalization? I would like it, right? The way I want. For example, I would like to stay in homestays. Please provide that to me, personalized. Better security for travelers and their transactions. So tourist police. These are innovations that are required. Multi-modal transportation planning and booking. Is it not true that we want to travel through multiple modes also at places, right? If there is no train journey ahead of Darjeeling, I go from here to Bagdogra by flight. From Bagdogra to Darjeeling, I go by road, and from Darjeeling, I catch the toy train. That's beautiful. So multimodal transportation must be provided to people. Regional connectivity between destinations, better payment models. Inventory management of hotels. What are the resorts, hotels, available, right? It should be made available online, digital payment. Environmental impact should be reduced, right? Excessive tourism should be limited. Excessive in negative connotation should be limited, right? Solution for over tourism, that's the word, right? For example, throwing of plastic garbage. For example, solid waste management. If we know that this is a tourism hotspot, these are the areas of focus for those particular places, right? Trivandrum has managed it very well, right? Automation in hotels and resorts, right? Booking platforms available. So these are the innovative ways in which tourism can be handled. All this is a part of tourism policy. I have placed the most important parts, relevant parts, and they can be utilized in economy. They can be utilized in social development. They can be utilized when you speak of governance, and how tourism can be used as an important indicator or picked up as a policy for governance of the whole country. That's what I'm saying. No, the countries around the world have started to look at tourism from the perspective of economic development. When you see a complete hotel here, you'd also be able to see complete Palm Island just behind it. See, all because of tourism, right? And on the other hand, this is the report. It says 63 Indian cities in 100 most polluted places on earth. NDTV. Times of India says 35 of 50 cities of worst air quality in India. Hyderabad, Bengaluru saw an increase in pollution in 2021. IQ Air's 2021 report, Mumbai's pollution level 9 times above WHO limit. Delhi, world most polluted capital, right? Who would like to be a part of this tourism, right? These are the indicators which do not aid tourism in India, right? So the air quality, even the level of honkings, the horns, the sound pollution. Let's not just speak about the sound pollution, but about the culture in the country. The culture, are we actually pro tourist? How tourists are viewed in our country? We view them from the eye of, क्या दे देगा मुझे, कैसे लूट लूं इसे? Isn't it true? We look at it at a tourist from the perspective of what I will get and not what we can serve them. If we serve them well, they will naturally come back to India. I had gone to Goa to only find that I had visited Goa fewer number of times than many of the foreigners. They wouldn't visit other countries, they would come to Goa because of the culture of tourism that is available in the country. So, having shown you what are the opportunities, you must also look at the challenges. The availability of tourist police, the availability of online transactions, the availability of skilled local persons, skilled forces. Right? Although we have natural sites, destinations, but are they sufficient enough to invite the tourists? Possibly not. Right? This is the reason that India's economy, 9% of tourism is the contribution and 10% in global economy. Right? And India has got the potential to increase it furthermore. Let me see what you people have been typing here. Okay, quite a bit. You people are excited about tourism. Okay. Temple tourism, absolutely, Pooja. Virtual museums. Virtual museum is a part of digital tourism. Accept it. E-visa, e-booking, e-payments, good one. Bhavani says in Bhubaneswar you can travel to Nandan Kanan virtually before you travel there. Yes. And once you go to Nandan Kanan, you would see a complete lion safari. I was there when I was small, and right below the bus, the travel bus, and you would see the whole herd of lioness and cubs, and even lions sitting there. So beautiful. Rock edict of Ashoka. Yes, at a lot of places. Tirupati, Tirumala. So true. Souvenirs. Collect souvenirs, and not only that, but take something of economic value for us. Hima. Even UAE is wanting to cooperate in military sector, asking for training their soldiers and regular exercises. Yes. Bimbisara and yes, other people also. Bimbisara and what was their name? Their son's name? Ajatashatru. Bimbisara was the son, Ajatashatru was the father, I think. Is it true? Tourism Golden Triangle, Jaipur, Delhi, Agra. Yes, thank you, Kriti. Yes, Konark Puri is another way. Chilka. Jagannathpur, absolutely. What else? So Hima is also speaking of tourism around Gorakhpur, Kapilvastu, Lumbini, Kushinagar. No discounts. Kalighat. Okay. Amlan is a Buddhist. Oh, nice. I have visited quite a few Buddhist sites. I visited just a few days back. I went to Bodh Gaya. I also went to I've been to Sarnath as well previously. Okay, what else? Yes, Netra, very good point put. Religious tourism initiative for Pakistani pilgrims, which is a proposed visit. Not only that, India's movement into Kartarpur corridor, that is a religious tourism itself, right? So these are important ways for tourism. In fact, Pakistani people come to India for religious tourism. Just that they cannot move out for civic movements, or they cannot meet relatives, or go to tourist destinations. They can go to only specific destinations, either to meet relatives or to go for a specific religious tourism interest. Destination wedding, film industry. Oh, now is when you people are opening your brains. No, very good. Now there is also a kind of tourism I had seen in which foreigners, they only want to attend a Indian wedding, a big fat Indian wedding. They can pay 10,000 rupees to attend this wedding and have a plate of food there, right? And this is a part of tourism, right? And people are offering this kind of tourism at their families. That's absolutely true. Durga Puja, absolutely. Tiyasha, good one. Festival tourism. Okay, Ajatashatru is the son. So Ajatashatru had also put Bimbisara in jail, right? Amlan says, if you do not travel, you learn only from one chapter of your life. But if you travel, you learn many chapters of your life. Bimbisar, sons, okay. Thank you. Dargah. Netra is only a live guy here. All right. Okay. So, while you learn, we also earn, right? So while we learn various things about the culture, we earn a lot of things, and we also make people learn through this. Is it not true? Absolutely true. So getting back to the featured news and finishing it off as soon as possible, the 5 key areas I have mentioned: green tourism, digital tourism, destination management, skilling the hospitality, and supporting tourism related MSMEs. Along with that, I had mentioned very clearly there are a few more areas of focus, which are visa, hygiene environment, connectivity, quality standards, investment, and promotion of tourism. Right? Promotion, their digital promotion amongst people around the whole world. This is important, right? Challenges: lack of infrastructure, safety, security, inaccessibility, and many other things that I had mentioned alongside, right? The draft policy speaks of national green tourism mission, national digital tourism mission. It speaks of tourism and hospitality skill mission. It speaks of national mission on destination management organization, destination management, right? Okay, it speaks of MSMEs handling tourism and tourism related activities, not directly tourism, but what we can sell to other people. Seamless connectivity and transport infrastructure, connectivity, digital and physical, both. Promotion in investment in the country, marketing and promotion, quality assurance and standardization. See, this is where we are not very good at: marketing, promotion and quality assurance, because European countries, American countries, the tourism offered by them seems far more lucrative to us than what we can offer them. This is where marketing, promotion, quality assurance and standardization must be guaranteed. All right. The opportunities for us: heritage, culture, yoga, Ayurveda, holistic system, medical tourism, MICE tourism. See, you got to put these kind of entries also. What you people right now mentioned, no, that is really worth appreciation. For example, festival tourism. You people mentioned people coming here for destination wedding, film industry, all of them. These are innovative ways to answer. MICE tourism, right? Cuisine tourism. Give these examples so that it comes out as a person who is very well known about all of it. And the data, for example, 9% of tourism industry and 8% of India's employment through tourism and related activities. So draft tourism policy. We understood some data about it. We understood the opportunities that exist, the various kinds of tourism, right? Maybe 10 kinds of tourism we understood, the opportunities that exist, the threats to this tourism, the objective of the government, right? We also understood more about some aspects that have to be taken care of while we look at the opportunities, the 5 opportunities that have to be met, right? And some more aspects that have to be looked into. For example, having the tourist police or tourism circuits, right? Vasudev Kutum, helping the tourist first before others. So this is how tourism can be developed in India, its potential. Discuss and examples of each of them, very important. See, you would have seen this in the answers here that you have put down, that once you place the example, it becomes so relevant. The person who is examining or looking at the answers, they start to imagine that they have actually landed at that particular place. So, or they can start imagining how much you can view. So that is the power of any example, right? Example is relevant everywhere. Give data or example and you see how you make your projects green and sustainable. Your own projects, that is your answers, right? Discuss the opportunities that India has in the tourism sector. And the opportunities that India has must be presented in all of these tourism sectors: shopping, adventure, backpacking, cuisines, education, business, wellness, religious, sports, village, convention, medical, all of them. See, medical tourism, south of India, Tamil Nadu is the state where transplantation of organs is done mostly, right? Convention tourism, Goa is one place for convention tourism. Delhi is another place for convention tourism. Jaipur has also become one of the hubs for literary festivals. Village tourism, Meghalaya, right? Meghalaya is got one of the most sustainable villages in Asia. It is, anybody, can you please name this particular village? Mauni Long, right? Sports tourism, example of this is Ladakh, or example of this is Gulmarg. Religious tourism, religious circuit for Buddhists, for Jainas. Wellness tourism for yoga, for naturotherapy, right? Business tourism, okay, someplace. Education tourism, cuisines tourism, right? Going to Ahmedabad, going to Hyderabad. Adventure, backpacking, talk of those places along Western Ghats or Himalayas where people travel to, right? So examples of this is Chandratal in Himachal Pradesh. Shopping tourism, where to go for shopping, right? So give examples of each of them, and this is how you are able to diversify your points about tourism, right? Now, why tourism appeals to you more than others, you should decipher. Why? Because I must point out that examples must be presented in all the answers. That's all I want to say to you, right? Now, this is where we come to the conclusion of this discussion. We will meet you tomorrow evening, and tomorrow I would like you to see, by tomorrow it will be great if you are able to see the previous year questions. So look at the beginning of the previous video, the current affairs video, and in the first 10 minutes I spoke about why look at previous year questions. And tomorrow I will ask you a question on the previous year question itself. I'll ask a question on the previous year question about your experience on the same, so that we are able to carve a trajectory for each one of you. It will be different for each one of you, right? So we'll be able to carve a trajectory for previous year question, how you are able to attempt these questions, and how you should be able to divide time for the revision or studies of the traditional part, and how you should divide time for current affairs and others. So do this exercise, and right now the topics are new in your mind, so ensure that you people are writing notes quickly, right? So Kriti, Bhabani, Amlan, Abhinav, good evening and good night. We are moving. Ashish, good night. I will see you all tomorrow evening, right? I commend your participation. Your participation provides energy to many of us here, right? So keep it up, but just that you should not lose focus on the pre-exam as well. Pre-exam is very important, and many of you yourself will be able to see that something that we speak of will come in the examinations. It will come. It has to come. It needs to come, because where else will the examiner look for the questions? So balance is required. Balance of preparation. Niranjan says, sir, India कबाड़ का इंपोर्ट बहुत करता है, रेवेन्यू भी बहुत होता है, अगर आप किसी दिन लाएं कबाड़. Yes, India imports a lot of material which can be recycled, which can be condemned. For example, ship disposal industry at Alang in Gujarat, right? So revenue is good, but then it leads to environmental distress, right? This is where Supreme Court has given some recommendations on this. So good night, Niranjan, Kim, Hima, Tiasha. Oh, you're talking of feature news mein. Okay, we'll talk about it. We are talking of waste management. Okay, we'll speak about it. We have discussed feature news on waste management, Niranjan, previously. Waste management, informal sector participation in waste management. But we are speaking of that particular waste which comes from abroad, and then that is disposed of in the country, economy, and its ill effects. Okay, I'll discuss this. Good one. Thank you. So if you like this initiative, share some love through likes, comments, and shares. We will see you tomorrow evening. Good night.